Let's get started. To start with, let me talk on what is data engineering. The entire course which we are going to be part of it for the next 3 months will be Azure Data Engineering. So you will be applying a role called data engineering. Data engineering is a core concept, core subject. You can use a number of technologies for that. But what we will be concentrating is Azure. Myself, Santosh. I do have around 8 years of experience in IT. I'm an MBA graduate who have done MBA in one of the top college. And currently I'm working as a manager in Microsoft. And apart from that, I'm also taking training. It's been almost 5 years. I'm training people. So from KSR, we have trained a lot of people. Around 2,000 people have got jobs so far. So that's the history of KSR as well. And I'm into completely into the data driven technologies, starting with data analysis, data science, and data engineering. So this is my background. And currently I'm been working offline as well for supporting a lot of clients, working for e-commerce, healthcare, banking, and telecom. So those are the few areas where I've been working and giving the projects to the end users. So you can address me, Santosh. To start with, first of all, whenever you're learning a subject, it is must that you need to understand what is the ground of the subject. So everyone says it's data engineering, but what do you mean by data engineering? Is it something like we are dealing with data? We can split into two words, data and engineering, and we'll talk on both the words. Okay. And then we'll try to understand end of the course what we are going to achieve. Well, if you ask me a Java developer, by end of the course, they will be like, I need to develop a web application. Well, if I talk about a BI developer, they'll say that, okay, end of the course, I'll have to build a report. If you ask a data scientist, he'll say that, well, end of the course, I need to build a model solution. Well, what you're going to work with data engineering is a question for you. In order to get that answer, we'll wait for next couple of days to understand the ground of the subject, and then we will see what are the things which we are going to learn, right? Now, everywhere there is a buzzword that is data engineering. Now we'll see what is this data engineering. We'll break down into multiple chunks of topics and then we'll take one step at a time. Before I talk about data engineering, I would like to tell how the data is growing day by day. Without data, there is no subject. Without data, there is no data science, there is no data engineering, there is no data analysis. So the fuel is data. Let's know about this data first, and then we will take forward with the subject. Now, first thing is just open your smartphone. I'll give a minute of time. Just pause yourself, go back to your smartphone and see how many applications you are using in your smartphone. Well, the one which I've listed down, maybe I would say it's a basic apps which you have. Maybe you'll be using Gmail, WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger. Maybe I'm a person who always travels in Uber. You may be a person who always travels in Ola. So Ola or Uber. Google Pay, Phone Pay, Paytm. This is actually used for transacting money to someone. And maybe if you're a frequent traveler, you also use Redbus or IRCTC. And if you're like even purchasing some e-commerce products, you also purchase either in Flipkart or Amazon. And if you're also a person who spends a lot of times on web series, movies, so I would say OTT platforms like YouTube, Hotstar, Netflix are also the right channels for you. Now, the one which I've sent, the one which you're seeing on the screen, it's a basic app. Apart from this, you still have many apps. Okay, so just I gave a break of 1 minute. Just go back and see how many applications you're using in your smartphone. It will be more than 30, 35. Now, this 30, 35, I'm seeing an average everyone is using. Now imagine this 35 applications. Is it something like you can just use it like that? No, you have to create an account for that. All the applications which you're using requires an account. If you want to use a Gmail, account is required. If you want to use a WhatsApp, account is required. If you want to use a Redbus, yes, account is required. So without account, you cannot go and use that app effectively. Well, for you, it's just the number of apps. For the company, the registered email or a phone number, that all becomes a data. For them, it's a data. For you, it's just an account, right? Now, every single person, a smartphone user, will have minimum of 20-25 applications in a smartphone. Now, just do a mind calculation. And the mind calculation which I wanted to tell you is there are 7.5 billion people on this earth. Okay, I repeat, there are 7.5 billion people on this earth. 3.7 billion people are using internet. 3.7 people into average of 20 apps, which is 3.7 into 20 accounts. And the way we are using mobile data, broadband, Wi-Fi, everything, 3.7 billion people having 20 accounts each and utilizing 1 to 2 GB of data every day. Can you do a simple calculation and tell me how much data you people are generating? You're also one among this 3.7 billion who are using smartphone, internet, and in fact, you use almost 1 to 2 GB. Not sure if you know the stats. I have been publishing a paper, so I have done a lot of research. Every Indian spends an average of 7 hours on his smartphone on a daily basis. I repeat, since I've published the paper, I have done a lot of research. On an average, every Indian spends 7 hours on a smartphone from morning to night. On an average. Maybe one day you can spend 3 hours. Saturday and Sunday, maybe you're spending 7 hours. Maybe I may be spending 2 hours. My cousin may be spending 11 hours. So it's still average. On an average, 7 hours is spent. Do you think you're just staring the phone for 7 hours? No. The way they're using backend data is getting generated. When everyone is generating the data, including you, including me, including this 3.7 billion people, just think out of the box. Who is going to gather this data? Well, people are using it, but how to gather this? Who is the person who's going to gather the data first? Data can be from everywhere. That's a question number one, keep in mind. Now, just to give you some interest over the data, I would also like to walk you through some of the facts. Now, all these things, the companies, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, these are the top users which we use it. If you see here, Facebook alone has 2.37 billion people. WhatsApp has 1.5 billion people. YouTube has 2 billion people, and it continues, right? Now, just to give a small thought of how technology is changing, let me walk you through a small story. We are into 2022. This is the current year. I'm a cricket fan. I was a cricketer. I have played for school. I have played till the district level. Now, 2022 T20 World Cup that is going to be planned for the next month, where around 15 to 20 teams participate, and there will be one winner who is going to take this ICIC T20 World Cup. It's an international tournament. Now, just listen carefully. We are talking about the 8th edition, which has happened in 2022. Today, what happens? India wins or loses the match. Everyone goes and updates their team, maybe in WhatsApp status, Instagram stories. I've seen a lot of people posting in social medias. In fact, even the cricket players do that. Recently, like everyone was waiting for Kohli to be back on form. Like he has hit a century, 71st century. So minimum 1,000 contacts I was able to see. They are putting the WhatsApp status. Well, such skiing is back, waiting for 100th century. So a lot of things I've seen it, right? So what you're doing, you're actually utilizing the apps like Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, and you're sharing your happiness. Now, today you're posting in Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, everything. I mean, 2007 was the first T20 World Cup was inaugurated, and India won the inaugural match. Well, I don't know how many of you people remember, but I still remember India-Pakistan match ended up in tie. They declared the winner by a bowl-out method. Then India-South Africa match, that also went to the wire. Like I would say, it's like a semi-final. Then India bet Australia in the semi-final. And again, India-Pakistan met in finals where India won by 5 runs. That was an India's first T20 World Cup, inaugural T20 World Cup. They have won. And if you remember, India-England match, Yuvraj Singh has smashed 6 sixes of Stuart Broad in an over. What if I say, when you all remember this, when these things happened, it's just like a 10-15 years back, this all things happened. What if I say, there was no WhatsApp and there was no Instagram? Can you believe this? When India won the first T20 World Cup, we did not have WhatsApp. We did not have Instagram. Can you believe this? Today, everyone is posting in WhatsApp status, Instagram stories. And even in fact, Virat Kohli is a person who's having the highest followers of 214 million followers. 2007, nothing. No status, no post in the Instagram. But still we remember, maybe nowadays you can go and see YouTube videos of the first match itself. But I'm trying to tell here, well, the technology is changing. Today maybe this year we are going to have an 8th edition. In this 8th edition, T20 World Cup happens every 2 years once. Within this 8th edition, just like in 8th edition, it's just like a blink of your eye. See what are the changes that has happened. Well, not only this, there are few things which has happened, which has changed drastically over the years. If you see the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is all has been started in the 2004, 2005, 2006. Well, I would assume that you're all of my age, plus or minus 3 to 4 years. Maybe you may be around 25, 26, 24, or even you may be 30, 33, 35, plus or minus 3, 4 years. We have all crossed this generation, technological world, and we are also the people who have been there without technology, with technology. Today, we are struggling to, maybe 20 years back, we were struggling to use technology because it was not there. I still remember if I want to talk to someone, we used to go to an STD booth where we dial the number. Every minute, they'll charge you 3 rupees. And we used to speak over the phone. It's like a landline phone. And the other person, they will not have a phone. Only in one building or maybe in 4 to 5 houses, they will have only one phone. First, we will call them. We'll tell them that first we wanted to speak to these people. So they'll cut the phone, they'll call them, and that person will come, and then we will talk. Now, that was the case we were doing it 20 years back. Today, two hands, two phones. One for personal, one for family, one for friends, one for office. That is how we are maintaining the smartphones. Well, all this, if you see here, now you may also ask me why this data engineering, data science, or data analysis is getting demand now, but why not previously? Previously, the technologies which was there, the evergreen technology, always the evergreen technology is Java. Even today, Java is something which no one has been replacing it, right? Well, all this things which I'm saying, data engineering, data analyst, data and science, why it's getting famous now? Why it is getting in demand now? It's all because in the last 10-15 years only, people have started using smartphones and internet in a very high manner. So data is getting generated, right? The one which you're seeing in the right side, it's like the people who are using the apps in billions. 2.37 billion people are using Facebook. Well, what did I say? What did I say? I said that in the previous slide, there are 7.5 billion people on this earth. 3.5 billion people are smartphone and internet users. In that, 2.3 billion people are alone using Facebook. I don't use Facebook, so I'm excluded in the 3.5. But in the 3.5 people who are using internet and smartphones, in that 2.3 billion people are using Facebook. What is there in Facebook? Maybe you can check in, check out wherever you go. You can tag your friends. You can post some pictures, comments, likes, suggestions. All this you are doing it. Well, the reason some of the times you get out of the control is the number of applications you are using. Now, that's a key important point you need to remember. Well, we'll talk about a bit of stats. So if you see here, what are the things that you are doing it currently is every minute. Okay, let's break into more deep. Every second, 1.7 megabytes of information is getting generated. Well, I'm talking to you for the last 30 minutes. You know how much data I'm getting generated? I am using internet. I am talking you continuously. I would have used more than 10,000 words continuously speaking. That's a data. The internet which I'm using for the last 30 minutes, that's a data. You're connected to the app, that is a data. You're listening, that's a data. Well, everything is happening. If you see, every minute, 41 lakh YouTube videos has been playing. Every minute, 41 lakh videos has been watched by users. For the last 30 minutes, you are watching only one video, but I'm talking about every minute. Just like that, in 1 minute, we can say 4 lakhs tweets and 46 posts that has been uploaded every minute. Just close your eyes. Just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you would have seen around 2 lakh search in Google. Something you don't know, you go and search in Google. Let's say I use a word called pathetic. So you don't know what is the meaning of this pathetic. You go and search in Google. By the time you search, 40,000 searches Google would have received it. And Google should respond to all 40,000 people. And that's what I said, 3.7 billion people are using internet. Well, I'm talking about the growth, the growth of the data. Now we'll start digging deeper. What you can do with this? What is that something which you're going to learn in this course? Well, for that, first of all, we'll see what is this big data. When you'll call this as a big data, let me give an example. Imagine this is a glass, maybe you can call it as a glass, tumbler, whatever you feel. This is a 200 ml capacity. You can store 50 ml. You can store 70 ml. You can store 100 ml. You can store 125 ml. You can even store 199 ml. Okay, possible. You can store 200 ml. Possible. Can you store this? No. What happens? A drop of water spills out of the glass. Now, let's define what is this big data. What is this big data? Just break the word into big, big and data. Carefully listen. There are n number of definitions that you can understand from this technology, but I would put it into a very, very simple term. Something which you cannot fit into the traditional storage system. That's it. That's a definition. Something which you cannot fit into traditional storage system. Well, everyone thinks that 1 TB is a small data, 100 terabyte is a big data. That's what the people think. No, it's not that way. 200 ml can still be considered as a normal data. 201 ml can be considered as a big data. This can be happen. Like maybe 1 ml. 1 ml is a difference, but still 200 ml can be considered as a normal data, whereas 201 ml can be considered big data, because the way I define the big data is something which you cannot fit it in your traditional storage system. That traditional storage system is a glass, which is a capacity of 200 ml. So tomorrow, if someone says, what's big data? Don't start measuring in terms of terabytes or petabytes or exabytes. Tell in a way that, okay, we cannot fit it in normal traditional system. Let me ask you a question. How much data can Excel can hold? 10 lakhs is a maximum number of records you can have in your system. That is in your Excel. Now this 10 lakh, imagine the space that is taking is 1 GB. Is this a big data? Definitely no. If I have 11 lakhs and if I'm having 1.1 GB, now this becomes a big data. The reason? It cannot fit into a traditional system. What is a traditional system? A normal Excel file, it's not able to fit. Then I have to go with another server. Now that is what about big data. And why we are nowadays we are getting the big data is because the data is coming from different systems, and the first culprit to generate more data is all because of this internet users. I'm not sure how many people have switched off their mobile data in the last few days. I'm a person who never switch off my data. Either I'll be getting emails, messages, WhatsApp messages, Instagram pings. So I'll be getting it. I never switch off my internet. Even while sleeping also, I would have on it so that I would have got to know who messaged, who did not message. Right? Now, this is about internet users. Well, when I say internet users, it is directly proportional to the smartphone users. Only if it is an internet, how long you can go and sit in a laptop or in your systems, always you look for the portable device, that is your smartphone. So smartphone users and internet users are the two main reasons to generate the data, right? Now, sensors. Nowadays, you go to hospitals, CCTV cameras, everything acts like a sensor which keeps on generating the data. Whether you sleep or not, your CCTV cameras will never sleep because the only work is to record what is happening. All the 24/7, it has to be running. So do you think they'll just record it? No, they have to store it. That's again generating data. You go to hospitals, they have a lot of sensors that also generates data. Smart devices. I slept wearing my smartphone. Today morning, it is telling that I had 3 hours of deep sleep, 2 hours of normal sleep, 1 hour of disturbed sleep. My watch is telling. My watch is able to track overnight what is my oxygen level, what is my temperature, and it is also able to tell my what is my heartbeat. Now, how it is possible? It's all because of these devices. Now, this device data could be helpful. Actually, there is a news. I'm not sure if you have understood this. A person's heart attack was predicted before in hand with the help of a Apple device. So the Apple smart device was able to judge the person's health, and it immediately alerted the person to visit a doctor because its heartbeat was not stable. So immediately he got that notification. He went and checked back the history of the smart device. Last 5 days, 6 days, its heartbeat, and the heartbeat was not stable. Immediately he went to hospital where he was well treated. Before the unexpected thing to happen, he actually reacted before. He took a proper test, he took a proper medication, he took a proper food, and his life was prevented with the help of a simple smart device. Now we are moving into that data driven world where everything is treatable. And do you think it comes just like that? No. Your smart devices will help you to record the patient's information. Well, the future is all about the IoT devices, Internet of Things. Now, what is this Internet of Things? The Internet of Things, I would say that in future, everything will turn into an Internet of Things devices. If you want to switch off your switches, switch off your fan, operate your television, operate your fridge, operate your fan, everything can be done with the help of the smartphone. No need to go and do your physical switches. No need to play with your physical switches. Things will change. You will never even see a single switch in your house. Everything will be an LED oriented, or you just go and touch it, the lights will on. That is how it is going to happen in the next 10 years. Take it from me. If this doesn't happen, you can always reach out to me. Internet of Things is a next big invention that is going to happen in technological world. Now, the other thing I would say is it's actually a user friendly to use all this. You need not use, you need not learn or you need not go to school to learn how to use smartphone, right? You just give the smartphone to a person, teach him for one day, and he will never come back, right? Maybe you would have seen our parents, grandparents who are not much educated, but still if you given a smartphone, they know how to use it. It's all because user friendly. There is no age barrier to use the smartphones that only 5 years, 6 years, 7 years cannot use, only 20 plus can use, and whoever is 40 plus cannot use. It's all a myth. Even a 5-year-old nowadays, he will not have his foot if it is not having a smartphone in his hand. Now, all this are generating data, the data and the data. Keep an eye that where do you store this? Where do you store this? You know you're generating a data, but where it is stored it? Keep also this question in your mind. Now, A small example, which is out of the context. In 2009, if you want to take very good photos, pre-wedding shoot, post-wedding shoot, or for films, for series, you are involved with couple of people. One is a photographer and one is a pilot. So they keep rotating on this helicopter and they used to take photos. And in fact, that was also an effective way of taking photos. Nowadays, in the next 10 years, in fact, 2019 where drones started being utilized more, but before that also it was there. Both of them can give the best quality pictures. But one thing happened in the last 10 years is cameraman and the pilot are considered to be the best profession because everyone wants to take photos, everyone wants to become a camera person. And pilot is something which I would say one of the very, very respectable profession. What happened in 10 years? I'm not here to fear you, but I'll tell you, if you don't upgrade yourself, don't be surprised if you lose your job. When the top two professions, cameraman and pilot, has lost their jobs because of the technological change, and if you are very stubborn in like knowing that, okay, I will work only on Excel, I will work only on Java, I'll work only on testing. If that is your mindset, don't be surprised if one day if they're asking to resign you. Not here to fear you, trying to motivate, keep learning new technologies. At one point of time, the technologies will keep on changing. Well, in 2022, I am saying this. In 2032, anything can happen. Who knows? Even smartphones may not be there. It could be just like a screen that you can even populate on your skin. You can just use it as a LED touch. Things can happen. Well, in the next 10 years, anything can happen. Well, we are into the data driven world. We need to know how we can manage the data. Well, I'm talking about the only the technological part, and it is about the data. But just remember, the more and more we are prone to use internet, the data is also getting generated. Now, this is a small motivation for you. Start upgrading your skill. You cannot survive in IT with one technology. World's best professional, a cameraman, a photographer, and a pilot, if they are losing a job, there is no surprise that even we will lose a job. Now, you may ask me why this is important. You can just ignore, right? For example, let's talk about the CCTV camera. Every day morning, I start recording, and every night I switch off the system. Or even if I'm recording for the entire day, if I delete that video, the next day, again, I switch on the CCTV. Again, I record for the one day. And again, the next day, I will delete the video. Again, I'll go and record. What is the use? Recording, deleting, recording, deleting. What is the use? Well, it's all about storing. Something happened in the last 1 week back, 10 days back. You can simply go and observe. For that, you need data. So data is useful for making decisions. Without data, you cannot improve your business. So you can get to know that who likes what. If a customer is purchasing more of electronic items such as phones in e-commerce, people will like phones. So your company also knows that, okay, people are liking this type of products. You'll also be able to get the right information to the business. One thing I would say is the fifth point is very important. More data, more analysis, more results, more profit. That's it. Your end goal is to generate more profit. That is what we are going to achieve as an end goal. But for that, you should have more data. Now, how do you get the more data? More data can come from the different systems. To organize everything and put it into one system and then create a profit out of it, that is what is really required. As I said, your data is like a fuel. Without this data, you can never ever think of the business. Data is always a key factor that is been part of backbone of many applications. Without data, never ever think that an application works. It's like asking like without brain how you will live. It's not possible. Now all this is trying to define what is big data. Well, as I said, a simple objective as what makes a data big. Well, I've given an example of a glass where 200 ml of water, you can still store it and you can still call it as a normal data, whereas 201 ml, you can still call it as a big data because the data is not fitted into the traditional way of storage. It's called a big data. Now, what makes data big? Something which you cannot store it in your traditional systems. So how much an Excel can store? Excel can store 10,48,576 rows, 16,000 columns. This is a maximum limit your Excel can store. This is something which you are fitting into the normal data. You can fit in the Excel. This is big data. This is big data for Excel. Why? You cannot fit it in the traditional system. Similarly, your Oracle holds 5 GB of data per table. Your MySQL holds 2 GB of per table. Well, all this becomes a big data. If your data is 4 GB, 5 GB, definitely you will not be able to store in the traditional system. Now we are talking about GB. For the last 1 hour, when I'm speaking, the entire screen sharing is getting recorded. The entire audio is getting recorded. In fact, we have not connected over video. If it was a video call, the video also could have recorded. Now the question is, what if I have 2 terabyte of data? Where will I store? Can I store in all the systems? Not possible. Now, how to store this huge data? How to handle this huge data? How to process this huge data? How can we get the data? That is what we are going to learn as part of this course at a very high level. Then you're getting the data from different systems. Who is going to take care of it? Who is going to organize it? Who is going to clean it? Who is going to bring into everything into one system? Well, you can proudly say that you are going to do that in future because you yourself is going to become a data engineer. A data engineer is a person who takes care of the entire groundwork of gathering the data from different systems, organizing it, and whether it is a 1 terabyte or it's 1 GB or it's 2 terabyte or it's a 10 terabyte, organizing everything and making readily available to work for other teams is what is your role. With this, we'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. We'll talk more on the data technologies, what we are going to learn, how we have to take step by step, what and all things which are going to be part of a data engineering, everything we will learn step by step. Today, we have just tried to concentrate on the data growth.